Hi everyone, join me today as we paint this cute teapot house in watercolor. Today I'm going to be sketching in my Potentate square sketchbook. It contains 100% cotton hot press paper and the pages are square, 19 by 19 centimeter, and I really like the deckled edges to the paper. I'm going to be painting using my Kuretake Art Nouveau and Nuance sets. I love the pastel whimsical colors that there are in both of these sets. They complement each other beautifully and I think they go really well with the whimsical houses and shop fronts. I am going to start with my sketch already inked on the page. You can find the link to the free traceable sketch reference if you have a look in the description box below. I will also put the link to the traceable sketch on the screen now. So I'm going to start by using some pale pink and using that to cover the whole surface of the teapot. Then I'll take some old mauve and put that down over the door. And then I'll rinse and dry off my brush and just do some lifting on the door so that I can get a little bit of texture and that it's not all the same color. It's quite wet, so I will just rinse off my brush and repeat the process. Now I'm taking some saffron yellow. I'm going to mix that up on my palette and use it as the base color for my trees. So I'll do the trees section by section so that they don't flow into each other. So in the parts that aren't touching, I will put a yellow base color down first. Then I'm going to pick up ivy green and maybe just mix in a little bit of cobalt green as well. And in a thickish consistency, I'm going to drop that in at the bottom of the trees and let it blend upwards and use my brush in a stippled effect to get the colors to blend. Then for even more contrast, I'll take some green grey and put that in at the bottom so that I have a nice blend of colors from the dark green up to the yellow. If I feel it looks a little bit too stipply, then I'll rinse off my brush and just blend the colors more. I want to do the same sort of effect for the flower boxes, so I will start again with those with the saffron yellow. Then I'll take the lighter green mix, do the same thing, drop it in at the bottom. I think it just needs a little bit more, so I'll add more of that ivy green, cobalt green mix at the bottom. And then I'll take that green grey and drop it in at the very bottom. The more contrast we can get into these foliage sections, the more it's going to pop. So that's why I'm looking to get a full range of the yellow right down to the darker green. And then I think the first tree has dried enough that I can come along and do the one that's behind it. So I'll repeat the process again by putting the saffron yellow down first. Then I'll take my lighter green mix. Before I do that, I can see it's just pooling at the bottom. I'm just going to use my brush and do a little bit of lifting to get rid of some of the pooling effect. Now I'll drop in the lighter green. I'll just keep adding more until I've got as much as I would like down. I'll concentrate that color more on the bottom half and then just help it to blend upwards. And then I'll take that ivy green and put it at the bottom. And then just making it in a slightly thicker consistency and putting a bit more in underneath. And now I think I must let that dry. So I'm going to take some Daniel Smith masking fluid now and just mask off the flowers on the teapot. It's just going to make it easier for me to paint the whole thing and do the flowers at the end. So I'll put the masking fluid down and allow it to dry. Now that the masking fluid is dry, I'm going to pick up some yellow brown and then I'm going to use that to do the trunks of the trees. If you are enjoying this video so far, I would really appreciate it if you would click the like button. Doing this really helps to grow my small YouTube channel, and it also tells YouTube to share videos like this with other people like you who might enjoy it too. Also, let me know what you think in the comments box below. I reply to every comment and really appreciate your feedback. Then I'm going to take Venetian red and add it to that yellow brown. And I'm going to do the wooden slats on the fence with that color. I'll just water it down as I go so that it's not too thick a consistency. Adding a bit more Venetian red to the mix, I'll do the steps. And then taking some beige grey, I'll do the stepping stone. I'll just water that colour down a little bit and do the bird water trough. Now I'm going to take some Mars yellow and add it to the colour that's already on my palette. And then do the flower pots. I'm going to work wet and wet for the second layer on my teacup now. So just doing the bottom half of the cup in with water. I'm then going to pick up some alizarin crimson as my shadow colour. And then I'm just going to put it down the side and then also under the lid. And that's going to give the cup a curved look by grading the colour from dark on the outside and then blending it towards the middle. So I'll just do a little bit under the lid as well. And then rinsing off my brush, I'll just help the colour to blend towards the centre. And then I need to let the rest dry, so I will go down to the teapot now and do the same thing. I'm going to put some water down first, and I'm going to start with a base colour of pale pink and cover the whole teapot with that. So just getting an even colour across the whole thing. And then I'm going to pick up some alizarin crimson whilst the teapot is still wet and try and get the same sort of graded colour that I did with the teacup. And because it's still wet, the two colours will blend, but that's okay. I'm looking to get a graded colour from darker to lighter, from the outside to the inside of the teapot. So I'll just rinse off my brush and help the colour to blend. If you are enjoying this video and you would like to make a donation to me, you can do so on my Buy Me a Coffee platform. I will put the link in the description box below as well as on the screen now. I'm sure you can appreciate that making tutorials like this along with the traceable sketch reference is an immense amount of work, and I appreciate any and all donations. If you have made a donation, thank you. I'm going to pick up some blue-grey deep and do the edge of the stepping stone. Now I'm taking some pale aqua and doing the water in the bird bath. And then I'll take some cobalt turquoise light, and I want to work on the windows now. So I'll just drop that in for all the window panes on all of the windows. Picking up that brownish red color that I've already got on my palette, it's in a thicker consistency now because it's dried a bit. So I'm going to use that as the shadow color for the steps. And then picking up that Mars yellow in a thicker consistency, I'm also just going to do the shadows under the bushes. I'm going to pick up some pale pink now and just do the spout of the teapot and also the little knob on top of the teacup lid. And I'll do the teacup handle in the same color. And then I'm going to work wet and wet and put water on the saucer. And I'm looking to do the same graded color where I'll put the alizarin crimson in on the outside and then blend it towards the center. And a little bit of a shadow under the edge. And then I'll just help the color to blend. So just taking that pale pink and doing the teapot handle. Now I'm going to take some ecru beige and just do the frame of the windows. Just make sure that your blue color is dry before you put that down. Now I'm going to take some beige grey and just do some shadow around the base of the water trough as well as down the edges to get a bit of a curved look. And then I'm taking cherry blossom pink, but you can do the bird in any color. I'm just going to take that pot color and do the pot that I've missed out. And now I'm going to take some green gold, do the door handle, and then some flax beige to do around the windows. Now I'm taking some mauve taupe and doing the frame around the door. And around the window on the bottom. I want to get some shadow on the spout now, so just in that one section I'm going to put water down, not on the top facing section, and then get my alizarin crimson and drop it in for shadow color. And then just adding some alizarin crimson underneath the mouth and around the bottom part of the spout, just to give it a curved look. And then also just inside the mouth of the spout. And then I'm just trying to get a bit of a shadow under the knob on top of the teacup. And then I just haven't done the inside of the saucer, so I'm putting some water down there. And my alizarin crimson, I'm going to concentrate that around the bottom and then grade it upwards towards the top of the saucer. And I'll just use my clean and rinsed off and dried off brush to blend the color. Let's try and get some dimension to the teapot handle now. So putting water down first, I'll pick up the alizarin crimson and also just try and get some contrast in the color here, putting more definition where the handle meets the teapot. And as small as the little teacup handle is, I want to try and do the same thing here. Now I can try and get some grading on the teacup lid. So water down first, picking up the alizarin crimson and trying to get the same graded color. I think the spout needs a little bit more, so I'm going to put some water down first. And then I'm picking up that mauve taupe and trying to add a bit more shadow here, just so that it doesn't look so flat. And then I'll blend the color upwards. And a similar thing I want to do on the teapot handle. Let's just try and get a bit more contrast there with some more mauve taupe there. And now I'm just using a plastic eraser to remove the masking fluid. And I'm going to take some old mauve and do the flowers. And then ivy green. I'll use that for all the greenery on the teapot. And then I'll just let it dry a little bit and then use some saffron yellow for the flowers on the teapot. Now I'm going to take some yellow brown and just get a bit more contrast in the vertical slats. I just want them a bit darker and a little bit of not the same color all over. And again, I'm going to do a bit of dry brushing on the door with the old mauve. Again, just for texture. Then I think the window frames need to be a bit darker, so I'll take flax beige and just go over them with that. And then adding some yellow brown to my brown mix, I also want to darken the shadow on the steps. And there's the final sketch. If you enjoyed this sketch, I will put the click link to my playlist on whimsical houses up on the top right of the screen now. If you click it, it'll take you there. Until next time, bye for now.